Welcome to our video about the story of King David. Although he is remembered as a great hero and king of Israel, David also made significant mistakes that offer important lessons for us. Today, we'll explore 5 of those mistakes and see how they can apply to our lives. 1. Secret encounters, adultery with Bathsheba. The first mistake is David's famous adulterous affair with Bathsheba. One night, David was in his palace and saw Bathsheba, Uriah's wife, bathing. He was consumed by desire and ordered her to be brought to him, thus committing adultery. This was the beginning of a series of tragic events. David's desire led him to violate God's commandments and the trust of his friend Uriah. Bathsheba became pregnant, and David tried to hide his sin at all costs. This episode teaches us that we all face temptations. In moments of weakness, we must seek strength and wisdom to avoid impulsive actions that could lead to disastrous consequences. It is essential to recognize our limits and avoid situations that could lead us to make mistakes. Manipulation. Attempting to cover up sin. To hide his sin, David tried to bring Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, back from battle. David hoped that Uriah would go home and sleep with his wife, making it appear that the pregnancy was Uriah's. However, Uriah, being a loyal soldier, refused to go home while his comrades were in combat. He chose to sleep at the palace gate. Uriah's loyalty further complicated David's plans. When we make mistakes, the tendency to try to hide or cover up can create even more problems. The best approach is to be honest and take responsibility for our actions, seeking to correct mistakes rather than hide them. Abuse of power. Death of Uriah. When his plans to cover up his sin failed, David made a drastic and immoral decision. He sent Uriah back to battle with a letter to Joab, the commander of the army, ordering him to put Uriah in the front line, where the fighting was fiercest, and leave him there to die. As a result, Uriah was killed in battle. This act by David showed how power can corrupt and lead someone to make decisions that harm others in order to protect their own interests. The use of power and influence should always be done in a fair and ethical manner. This example of David warns us about the dangers of allowing power to corrupt our principles and lead us to commit injustices. Pride. Census of the people. Another great mistake David made was to order a census of the people of Israel, disregarding God's command. Joab, the commander of the army, hesitated to follow the order, but eventually obeyed. David took the census out of pride and vanity, wanting to measure his military strength. However, this action resulted in a plague that struck Israel, causing great suffering to the people. Pride and vanity can lead us to make decisions that have negative consequences not only for ourselves, but for others. Humility is essential for wise and fair leadership. We must always evaluate our motives and act with integrity. Neglect. Failing as a father. Finally, David failed on several occasions as a father, especially in dealing with conflicts between his children. David's son Amnon attacked his half-sister Tamar, and David failed to take appropriate action. Tamar's brother Absalom avenged his sister by killing Amnon. David failed to adequately deal with his children's sins, which led to a series of family tragedies and rebellions, including Absalom's rebellion against David. It is crucial to address family problems directly and fairly. Providing support and guidance to our children is essential to preventing conflict and fostering a healthy environment. Open communication and taking appropriate action are essential to resolving family problems. David's mistakes show us that even great leaders are fallible. His failures and the consequences he faced teach us about the pitfalls of power, the danger of giving in to temptation, and the importance of taking responsibility for our actions. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments what you learned from David's story and what other historical figures you would like to see here.